Hi friends, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'll show you how to take your data from Excel, something like this on the left, and create a Power Apps Canvas app in just a few easy steps. So the first thing you're going to need is your Excel data. There are a couple things that you need to do here to get this to work. So let me just start from scratch. I'll create a new worksheet. And we'll just keep it simple. We'll go with two different columns here. Let's say we're creating an agenda for an event. We'll have a column for session title and one for speaker. If you're following along, feel free to fill in whatever data makes sense for you. I'll quickly fill in some rows here. I'll save you having to watch me do that, and I'll be right back. Once you've entered your data, you do need to format it as a table. So select all the data here, and then here in your Home tab, Format as Table. It doesn't matter what style you select. I'll go with the medium here. Make sure the correct data is selected. My table does have headers, and we'll say OK. And then up here on the top left, you can give it a name. I'll call mine Agenda, and then save your workbook. I'll do a File, Save As. I'll save it as Event Agenda. Now we can move over to Power Apps and create an app based on this data. We'll start here at make.powerapps.com. Link above if you need to know how to get started with all of this. But we'll come over to Apps. I created an app earlier just testing this out, but we want to go with New App and Canvas. I'll call this TTT Events for Tiny Technical Tutorials. I'll go with Tablet. You could also choose Phone if you want, and then Create. All right, this will give us a screen to start with, but you'll see that we're not hooked up to any data right now. So I'm going to show you two different ways to use Excel to create your app. Let's start by clicking on Connect to Data, or you can also always come over here to your Data tab, the database icon there, and then Add Data. Now there's a lot of different places you can pull data from for a Canvas app. If you just start typing in Excel, the first option I'm going to show you is just to import from Excel, where you can browse for that file that we just created on my local hard drive. So I'll select this, Import from Excel. I'll select Event Agenda and Open. And then over here, Agenda, this is what we named our table. After we formatted it as a table, we said this is called Agenda. If you didn't rename it, it probably says Table 1, so it's okay to pull that one in, and then we'll say Connect. All right, so we're hooked up to our data. Now let's make use of it. We have this blank screen here, but let's insert a new screen, which is basically a page for your app. So say Insert, New Screen, and then we'll just use one of the templates that we get out of the box for List. And that'll give you a gallery control and a page header up here. So select the whole control. You can either click down here on the screen, or if you come into your tree view over here, make sure you've got the whole gallery control selected here. And then over on the right for data source, here it says None. We want to select Agenda that we imported from Excel. And there you go. Our data is coming in. Those are the events. So that's the first way you can pull data in from Excel. But one thing to know here is if you were to update your data, so coming back to Excel, let's say we decided that the speaker was going to be Morty Seinfeld instead of Jerry. I'll just save that locally. There's no way that this updated data can get pulled into the Power App. Coming back here, if you go to Data, you'll see the only option is to remove it. So basically you would have to remove the data and then go re-import it. Just show you what that looks like real quick. So Excel, import from Excel, same thing, Event Agenda. Over here, choose Agenda and Connect. And there's the new data coming in, Morty Seinfeld. So it's not going to keep things in sync, but this option is nice if you're just trying to do sort of a proof of concept or just play with data to see how the layouts are going to work and that kind of a thing. If you need the Excel data to stay in sync, then you need to upload that Excel spreadsheet to some cloud source, whether Dropbox or OneDrive or something like that. So the second option here, I'm going to upload this to OneDrive for Business. I'm just working in a trial environment for Power Apps right now, but it does come with OneDrive as well. You might already have a cloud storage account set up somewhere, but if you don't, you can come up here to the App Launcher. If you see OneDrive here, you can just select it. If you don't, though, you might need to set things up. So I'll open up Office in a new tab. You might be prompted to sign in. If this is the first time you're coming here, you might need to go to My Content and then down here to Cloud Files. And then up here on the top right, go to OneDrive. And then you can drag the Excel workbook here. Let me do that real quick. So I'll just drag that over, let it upload. And now we can go back to our app. And now we'll need to connect to that new data source. So this first one here was imported from the local Excel workbook on my hard drive. So let's add data again. This time type in OneDrive. And OneDrive for Business is what I want. There we go. I'll select that. It recognizes Event Agenda over here. And Agenda. We'll click Connect. And now I'm going to add another screen so we can hook it up to that data source. So again, new screen, list. And if you come into your tree view here, make sure you've got the gallery selected. And then over here for data source, select the OneDrive for Business. And that'll populate your data. Now this looks exactly the same as what we did before, but the whole point of doing this and keeping something in the cloud is that you can keep the data in sync. So if we go into OneDrive now, and we go update this file, I'll just click into this. And now maybe instead of Elaine Bennis doing the keynote, we have Newman doing the keynote. So I'll update this here. This should save automatically if you're opening it up in the browser like this. So if we come back to our Power app, here what you need to do, that data is not going to update automatically here. So come into Data, and then on the OneDrive for Business data source, click the ... and refresh. And then sometimes you might also need to refresh the entire screen here. Just a gotcha though, I haven't initially saved this, so let me go save it or we're going to lose all of our changes. So File, and since we haven't yet saved this, I'll go to a Save As, save it in the cloud, and then save down here in the lower right. And with that saved, now you can refresh the whole page. And then move her down on screen 3, and there you'll see Newman is giving the keynote now. So that's it, 2 different ways you can create a Canvas app from scratch using Excel. Either uploading a file directly from your computer or keeping it in the cloud so you can keep the data in sync. If you want to learn more about Canvas apps overall, check out the link in the description for my full 3-hour course. And thanks so much for watching.